carried into Mecca and went straight to the Kaaba. He circled it 7 times anti-clockwise and smashed all the idols, rededicating the Kaaba to Allah. And that's why
Based how Islam began in 10 minutes. I'm pretty sure this was a suggestion to me, but I forgot who suggested it
how
to me.
Islam began in under 10 minutes. Not a problem. We've started. Okay.
Hold on a second. It was muted.
So, travel back in time with me to a land far, far away and long, long ago. Mecca and Arabia, about the year 570. Mecca is important for 2 reasons. 1, the Kaaba is there, an ancient temple built to worship God. And 2, Muhammad, peace be upon him, was born in Mecca. Now, problem. I can't show you Muhammad because it wouldn't be right. I'll tell you why in a bit. But in the meantime,
makes sense.
This is his name in Arabic. Nice.
Look, I don't want to jinx myself, but like, I could never learn Arabic. Every time I tell myself, oh, I'll never ever do this, or oh, I'll never ever have to do this, I always jinx myself. And I'm like, but seriously though, Arabic is just... Okay, I have a question for all those who know Arabic, like the alphabet. Is it really like difficult as it looks, or is it actually like pretty decent?
Back in the day, Mecca was a lawless place. The only way to be safe was to have backup. Lots of rich big brothers who'd beat up anyone who got in your way. So the place was ruled by the most powerful families who could do pretty much what they wanted. And religion didn't help. By this time, the Kaaba had been filled to overflowing with 360 idols that did nothing to help anyone. So it was a tough place to grow up if, like Muhammad, you were a poor orphan and believed in just one God you couldn't see, like the Jews and the Christians. He called him Allah, the God, in Arabic there.
Funny to me how a lot of people don't understand that that's what Allah means.
Muhammad's dad died before he was even born, and his mum died when he was just 6. So he was brought up by his grandfather, Abdul Muttalib, and then, when he died too, by his uncle, Abu Talib, who had the respect of the city's ruling families, so Muhammad was safe for the time being. Muhammad started out as a shepherd, and then became a businessman, travelling about buying and selling stuff for rich clients. When he did some work for a rich widow called Khadija, she was so impressed by his honesty and skill that they ended up getting married. And for a while, it looked like Muhammad was going places. Well, he was, but not how you think. Every year after Ramadan, different calendar, different names for the months, there was a big party around the Kaaba when people made sacrifices to the idols. Muhammad hated it, so he'd get out of town and sleep in a cave he'd found on top of a nearby mountain.
This is where it begins, folks. This is where it begins.
One night, Muhammad's praying to Allah when wham! There's the angel Jibreel, you might say Gabriel, standing right in front of him. Read, says the angel, but Muhammad couldn't read. No schools, you see. Jibreel keeps on at him. 3 times he says, read. Then he grabs hold of Muhammad and...
Whoa, okay.
It's like Muhammad's learnt the words off by heart. So he recites the message out loud. Read.
Okay, let's talk about something real quick. Muhammad didn't like the fact that they were sacrificing stuff to their gods. When I say their gods, I'm just saying it objectively. I don't believe that those gods are real, because I, as a Christian, obviously believe in only one God. However, God, okay, plenty of times God has asked for sacrifices. Now, when I say God, I mean like the one God, the Christian God. Yeah, I'm just gonna say the Christian God. Yeah, I'll say that to give so you have a better description of what I mean. But yeah, the Christian God, although not like this, but the Christian God has asked for sacrifices before.
Read in the name of your Lord, who created man from a drop of blood. Read, for your Lord is most generous. He who taught by the pen, taught man what he did not know. It was a message from Allah, God was speaking to him just like he'd spoken to the prophets in the Jewish and Christian holy books, which meant he was a prophet too. The messages continued for the rest of Muhammad.
Really? Interesting. Just like that. That's how he became a prophet. Like, what? I'm not gonna lie. That sounds kind of just too oversimplified. Like, oh, that must mean I'm a prophet. Like, okay.
Muhammad's life. Allah gave him the words to say, and the Prophet recited them. The words were written down by his friends, and years later they were collected together and became the Muslim holy book, the Quran, which means recitation, because Muhammad recited it. You see? Anyway,
Although the Quran, I heard that there were many different copies of the Quran, and they were all more or less destroyed. So that's very interesting to me. I like the Bible, for example, bro. The Bible was rewritten so many times. The Bible that Christians read now is more or less completely different from the Bible like originally. So it's like I always used to think to myself, do I actually take what the Bible says or not? You know what I mean?
That was much later. So back to the night of power. Muhammad tells his family, then his friends, and eventually everyone about Allah, that he's the one and only God, that he wants everyone to be treated fairly, and long story short, it didn't go down well with the ruling families of Mecca, who liked things just the way they were. Thank you very much. You see, Islam means obedience to Allah, and Muslim means someone who obeys Allah, and the ruling families didn't want anyone obeying anyone else but them. So the people who believed in Muhammad's message, the Muslims...
It sounds extremely similar to how Jesus was crucified 600 years ago at this point, I think. Yeah. When he came, when I say at this point, I mean like 600 years from when Muhammad had came about. But yeah, when he came, the Romans felt the same thing. The Romans thought that, whoa, this whole king of the Jews, whoa, yeah, no, he's trying to usurp us, and that was more or less why he was crucified.
Some were even tortured and killed. A few of them managed to escape to Abyssinia, Ethiopia, but most were stuck in Mecca. Muhammad
Had some of my Islamic viewers tell me about Islamic influence in Ethiopia, so that is cool.
also had to cope with the death of his wife, and then just a few weeks later, his uncle too. Feeling very down, he went to the Kaaba to pray to Allah one night. Then, the weirdest thing happened. Jibreel turns up, sits him on a winged horse called Al-Buraq, and flies him all the way from Mecca to Jerusalem. He prays with all the prophets who have ever lived. Then, he's taken up to the heavens to chat with some of the prophets, and then into paradise itself, where Allah tells Muhammad to pray 5 times a day and to stay strong. He's returned to Jerusalem and then flies back to the Kaaba in Mecca. We call it the night journey, and Muslims still argue whether it was a real experience or a vision, but whatever, it gave Muhammad a much needed boost, and just as well, because there were more tough times ahead.
Man, dude. All of these stories, man. These testimonies, this is basically what it is, a testimony. It's like, subconsciously, I always ask myself, like, yo, is this actually real? I can say this for both Christian and Islamic stuff. I'm not even gonna lie, bro. I just always have that subconscious thought, like, did this actually happen? Like, did this actually happen? You know what I mean? I think God is real. I think the devil is also real. I believe there's an afterlife. 100%. But like these events that take place on Earth, I always just have that subconscious thought, like, yo, is this actually real? Or like, is this like, or am I being like finessed to believe something, man? I'm not questioning anything. Well, technically I am, but I'm just stating what is usually like. Sometimes that's just always at the back of my mind. I don't know, man. It's just normal for humans to act like that, honestly.
So, there was this other city called Yathrib. The people there heard about Muhammad and his message and invited him and his followers to join them. A few at a time, the Muslims left Mecca and made the dangerous journey across the desert to Yathrib. It's known as a hijra, which means migration, like birds do. Muhammad and a few of his friends stayed in Mecca until everyone had got away and then made plans for their own escape. But the ruling families wanted to kill Muhammad while they still could, so 7 sons, one from each family, was sent in the middle of the night to stab the Prophet while he slept. But he was way ahead of them, and when they burst into the house, Muhammad was gone. Trackers were sent out to hunt him down. Muhammad and his best friend Abu Bakr took a roundabout route to try and shake off the pursuit, but the trackers were too good and slowly gained on them. So Muhammad and Abu Bakr hid in a cave and prayed that no one found them. The trackers found the cave all right, but they didn't bother going in to search. There was no way Muhammad could be inside, they thought. There was a spider's web over the mouth of the cave and a nesting bird at the entrance. He must have given them the slip. So
Nah, bruh. Nah. Yo, okay, yeah. This is why I believe in God. This is why I believe in God. This is why I believe in God. Because of things that will happen to you that you're just like, there's no way, bro. There's no way that there was not a divine force that intervened, bro. But that's why. And I've had personal experiences, not as wild as this, but still noteworthy enough that always makes me go, like, yeah, there is a God. 100%. No doubt about that. But the stories of how these people talk to God, I'm like, is that really? Like why doesn't God do that anymore? I hear people say, oh, well, God doesn't do that because everything's loud. Everything's super duper loud. Technology and, like, you can't hear God's voice anymore. That's impossible now. But back then, I mean, things were so different back then. It's 2024. That was literally over more than 1,000 years ago. So it's like things were so different back then, and it's like, yo, it probably happened. I don't know.
Muhammad and Abu Bakr protected by a spider and a bird. Muhammad made it safely to Yathrib, which was renamed Medina al-Nabi, the city of the Prophet, but most people just call it Medina. But Muhammad's worries weren't over yet. There were 3 big battles between the Muslims and the Meccans. First, the Battle of Badr, when Muhammad and just 313 men faced 1,000 Meccan soldiers. Miraculously, the Muslims won. Then there was the Battle of Uhud, which didn't go so well. Some of Muhammad's men disobeyed his orders and ran off during the battle to raid the Meccans' camp, and so the Muslims were outmaneuvered.
Yeah, I gotta keep reacting to that. Good series, man.
Then there was the Battle of the Trench. Medina was protected on 3 sides by mountains, so when the Meccan forces advanced in the city, the Muslims just dug a deep trench. The Meccans made camp, but the weather was terrible. Pouring rain put out their fires and howling winds blew down their tents. Eventually they gave up. And
Wow.
they were losing the respect of the local tribes who were flocking to join the Muslims.
All in God's will. Again, this is why I said I believe that there's a God. Like, there's no way that God didn't have an influence in this.
So a peace treaty was signed at Hudaybiyah, but it wasn't long before the Meccans broke it. Muhammad decided that enough
Classic.
was enough. By now he had over 10,000 men, so he led them across the desert to Mecca. The ruling families realized they'd made a huge mistake, but it was too late. All they could do was surrender and hope that the Muslim army killed them quickly. But Muhammad said there should be no more fighting. He rode into Mecca and went straight to the Kaaba. He circled it 7 times anti-clockwise and smashed all the idols, rededicating the Kaaba to Allah. And that's why
Based.
Muhammad.
If there's anything that bothers me, it's false idols. Personally, that bothers me too. I'm not a religious fanatic, but when I see a false idol, like if I see someone worshiping something that would be classified as a false idol, like, I feel a burning rage inside of me, personally speaking, bro, as a Christian. Like, like, if you want to offend me, bro, even thinking about it, bro, like, I feel like, I just feel a burning anger just thinking about that, bro. If you want to offend me, bro, oh my gosh, go worship a false idol. Yo, let me not let's not stress my body out right now.
Muslims wanted to make it totally clear that they only worship the one unseen God. So they
I agree with the Muslims, even as a Christian, because look, I view Islam as like kind of a brother religion to Christianity, okay? I believe that when God comes back for his people, I believe that he's going to explain everything much more clearly. So if he explains that, hey, yeah, Islam was the right way the whole time, okay, all right, then I would be more than happy to convert in that moment. I would have zero issues, because I just feel like this. You believe in the one true God, I shake hands with you. If you have a different version of it, okay, that's fine. I believe God is going to correct you on that. If God says Christianity was the right way the whole time, okay, great. I don't care. This is how I view. You believe in the one true God? That's all that matters to me. So
have any pictures of Muhammad in case anyone thought he was an idol, and they didn't have any pictures of Allah because he's like nothing on earth, so it would be impossible to draw him anyway. So there you go, how Islam began in under 10 minutes. How did I do?
excellent video. I honestly forgot who told me to react to this, man. If you like what I have to say in my reactions, go check out my other videos on my channel. Make sure to subscribe for more excellent reactions like this. I do love reacting to religious topics on my channel, honestly. I believe religion is a big part of history as well. So again, I kind of want to like diversify my content a bit, so I mean, guys, I haven't even revived this channel for a year. Okay, I have a long. If you stick around, this channel is gonna be around for a long time. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Half of the reason why I have this channel is because I just want to say my opinions and I just want to make some money doing it. I'm not gonna lie to you. Okay, I'm an honest person. So, but I do enjoy doing this stuff as well. So it's gonna be around for a long time. It's basically like a little business at this point. But that I give thoughtful opinions and I give thoughtful comments on a bunch of stuff. Okay, plus I'm a very respectful person to everyone's opinions, even when people can be a bit icky. All right. unless you push me to that point where I have to take my gloves off on you. Only a few people have done that. Anyways, the point is, man, thank you for watching this video. Make sure to like, subscribe. If you have any suggestions, go comment it down below for me. And goodbye.